The issue of fear and anxiety has never been more effectively mined and sown in any public, in any society on record that I am aware of. Because of the mass media, it becomes a piece of cake to instill and incite and inculcate fear and anxiety and stress continually in a populace, which has been done since 9/11, and even before that, but certainly nonstop since 9/11. And I want all of you to take note that no matter what the venue, those who would sow fear and talk about doom and anxiety are doing you no favors. They're playing into the hands, or are in fact the hands, of the controllers. The game is to desensitize you to fear and Big Brother and control. And repetition is the simple key to doing that. You get to the point where you can only sustain so much fear and paranoia. And then you have to let it go and you accept it. I've had intelligent people write to me and say, oh my God, they're going to come and get me any time now and put me in a concentration camp and probably execute me. And it gets to be really disheartening. There is a place for information. There is a place for awareness. There is a place for disseminating viable and valid data to the best of my ability and other competent broadcasters and journalists. And then there is the other side, and it's the majority. And those are the ones who love to bang the paranoia fear drum to hear themselves, and on and on. And all they're doing is really desensitizing a public, Alan, and you know this very well, to the fear and to the suspicion and to the critical examination of the control being imposed upon them. And that is a disservice, whether it comes from Patriot Radio or the Pentagon press release. It's all achieving the same thing. And that's the most difficult lesson for many, even discriminating patriots, to understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Patriot business, and it is a business.
You bet it is.
It's on the go for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And a lot of its past history isn't something to boast about, especially when a lot of it initially was set up by the CIA back in the 50s and 60s, supposedly under the guise to fight communists by using Christian propaganda at that time. So they were using fronts to fight communism, supposedly. But along with it goes this whole fear, and most of the stuff that's sold on Patriot Radio is fear-based. It's panic buying. So you terrify the people, and then here's a solution.
Buy this DVD and get the hell scared out of you. And,
yeah, that's the whole thing. You couldn't sell most of these products otherwise.
Right.
You couldn't do it. And, I mean, I could make a lot of money myself if I pushed the advertisers, but I don't. Mm-hmm. And most of the hosts do. They will bring them on as guests to get paid for doing it, and they push the products. The whole idea being if you trust the host, then you'll buy the product.
Right. And the
so
host
I try to separate that all together when I do my shows. But see, trauma, and someone said this recently about what happened after the New Orleans evacuation. I mean, thousands of people were literally uprooted and thrown all over the country without objection. And this person observed this: traumatized people are very easily manipulated and led. And this gets back to all this fear and paranoia today. We're getting fear of the economy, fear of all these coming catastrophes.
Where are we going to be able to get our food? How can we pay our mortgage? How are we going to put gas in our car? It goes on and on.
That really puts people at a disadvantage. You're not thinking for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're being led. And the media will lead you by the nose to the next crisis and next crisis.
See, that's
most of it
victim
is
mentality. It's victim mentality, Alan.
Yeah.
I'm a victim. They're going to do this to me. They're going to kill me. They're going to... Mm-hmm. It's wrong. It's as wrong as it gets. And there are people in Patriot Radio who have made big money on issues that are presented to the public as being vital. But all it does is scare people further and ratchet up the anxiety and the paranoia. And ultimately, it desensitizes them to really caring about confronting the control machines. They say, why should I try?
It also stops critical thinking. And that's the key to it. The constant terror stops critical thinking. It's used in psychological warfare on prisoners. The very same technique of blindfolding them, taking them out to get shot. You wait for 5 minutes, they lead you back inside again. Not today. So you don't know when it's going to happen. And eventually you lose control of everything until they can lead you around literally by the nose, and you'll go along willingly because you cannot make a rational decision for yourself anymore. It's a Pavlovian response. You're like the dog that's trained to get your meal in one corner. You always go to that corner. If you move out the corner, you get a shock. And then one day, you get shocked in that corner too, so you thought, I better try another corner to please the master. And you're okay for a week there until it starts shocking you there. Well, eventually, you've been round all the corners. You sit in the middle of that room, and you just shake and quiver. And that's exactly the same formula that's been used on the public today.
And they shake and quiver, quoting either news from the mainstream media or news from Patriot Radio or what they think is news, and they'll pass DVDs around. Oh my God, you've got to look at this. Oh my God, you've got to look at that. And it becomes very disheartening to see this. Otherwise intelligent people acting
it doesn't matter who gives you the bad news as long as you get it. That's what the intelligence service knows.
There you go, folks. So it doesn't matter who gives you the bad news or who puts the fear or anxiety out there or the paranoia, because that pleases the controllers. They don't care. Be right back with Alan Watt in just a minute.